Hello, everyone, and welcome to another movie review. I am happy that you can join me today. If you are new to this channel, click the subscribe button below for future notifications and updates. Click the like button to share this content with other movie fans. Alrighty, so the last video that I posted, I mentioned that I was working on a documentary about my godmother who lives in Florida. So I got back last Saturday, the 7th, and I decided to take a break from working on the documentary to go see Wuthering Heights today, which is Valentine's Day. So if you celebrate, happy Valentine's Day. Um, this movie was probably on my list of 10 films I wanted to see in 2026. So when I saw the trailer back in November, December, I was very excited about this film. So here we go. Wuthering Heights was released in theaters Friday the 13th, which was yesterday. It stars Margot Robbie as Catherine, Jacob Elordi as Heathcliff. It was directed by Oscar-nominated director Emerald Fennell. The running time is 2 hours, 15 minutes, and it is based on the famous novel of the same name by Emily Bronte. And for those of you who might not know, this was Emily Bronte's only novel. I did my research on this novel because I never read the book. So what happened was I read the background of the novel, and according to reports, the novel is a gothic tragedy. However, the movie is labeled as a romantic drama. So, Emerald Fennell did say that she made some changes to the story. So, from what I understand about the novel and what I saw today, she took out the narration because the movie starts off with one of the housekeepers narrating the story of Catherine and Heathcliff. So she took out the narration, and the movie is just focused solely on Catherine and Heathcliff and their relationship over time. So, what I found quite interesting is, and I have watched the 1930s version of Wuthering Heights starring Laurence Olivier. So I don't remember details of that film, but I don't remember Heathcliff and Catherine being unlikable. And so to a certain extent, they are the protagonists, but then they are each other's antagonist, if that makes sense. So, as the story progresses, at first you sympathize with Catherine and Heathcliff when they were kids. However, by the time you get to their, the adult age, you don't sympathize with Catherine at all because she comes off as like this bratty opportunist, sorry. And then towards the last third of the film, Heathcliff comes off as a straight up villain, who is angry that he cannot have Catherine anymore. But it all boils down to the question: do you marry for love or do you marry for money? That's pretty much what this story has been. I can sum up this movie because Catherine is looking for a way out of her life, and she thought that her husband Linton was her way out, and so she enjoys the luxury and the wealth that comes with being married to Linton, but she is in love with Heathcliff, and it seemed as though that she was always in love with Heathcliff. What I found also interesting is that Heathcliff seemed to have been in love with Catherine since they were kids. Now, they were raised as brother and sister, but then again, they were not because Catherine's father took in Heathcliff and decided to give him the job of a servant. So that's why over the course of the film you find out that Heathcliff as a child was seen as Catherine's pet, more so than a brother. And then there was one scene where he basically took a physical beating from her father on her behalf. And so it's right then and there that you realize, you know what, this kid is in love with Catherine, and he probably is not aware of it. And so by the time you get to the adult age, Catherine and Heathcliff as adults, him being in love is quite clear. And so she realizes, over time, before she accepted Linton's proposal, she realized, holy crap, I'm in love with Heathcliff, but I can't marry him because he's poor. So, because of misunderstandings and because of the housekeeper who is protecting Catherine and she has good intentions, the circumstances keep Catherine and Heathcliff apart. And so by the time they decide to have an affair, because that's what ends up happening, they end up having an affair, they just cannot be together for obvious reasons. And the movie ends in a very depressing way. But by the time you get to the end, like I said, Heathcliff is a straight up villain. And so watching him turn into the villain, it made me cringe. Let's just put it that way. And it has to do with him getting married to, okay, and I'll just leave it at that. But what do I give this movie? I'm going to give Wuthering Heights 3.5 out of 5 stars. This is one of those movies where people either love it or they either hate it. Here's the thing. Gorgeous costumes, gorgeous sets, gorgeous cinematography. So from a technical standpoint, it's a good looking film. And I'm really, really loving the soundtrack. Okay. Charlie XCX, she made a fantastic soundtrack for this movie. I'm really loving it. I've always been a fan of Charlie XCX, but I mean the songs that she put on this soundtrack, oh man, I'm loving it. I'm so loving it. So from a technical standpoint, it's a great film, great soundtrack, but I can't give this 4 stars. I can't give this 5 stars simply because of character. One of my biggest issues with movies is that if you're gonna make a movie, okay, give us someone to root for. Okay, like give us someone that we can sympathize. And if you're gonna tell a love story between Catherine and Heathcliff, okay, and they're both each other's antagonists, it's kind of like, why are we watching this movie? Why? Because it's like you watch Heathcliff and Catherine interacting with each other, and I don't know, like I just feel hopeless. And that is not what you want the audience to walk away with. You don't want the audience walking away thinking, that there is no such thing as love and life is hopeless. Like, come on. No. So yeah, oh man. I wish I could give it 4 or 5 stars, but can't do it. Just cannot do it. Jacob Elordi and Margot Robbie are good-looking people, and the chemistry is there, and they really put in the work to portray these characters. But it's dark. It's half the scenes in the movie it's raining. So it's a very gloomy movie to watch. And the only time I enjoy the movie is when Catherine and Heathcliff are having an affair. So yeah, yeah. So that's how I feel about the film. Let me know what you thought of the movie if you went to go see it already. But anyway, that's all for today, my friends. I don't know when I'll be back at the movie theaters because I wanna finish this documentary. I've been working on this documentary about my godmother for off and on 2 years. Okay, I started in July 2023, 2024. Yeah, no, 2023. Yeah, July 2023, I started working on the documentary, started filming stuff. And so, yeah, it's time to finish this documentary and put it out into the world and have people enjoy it. So anyway, that's all for today, my friends. I will see you next time with either another movie review or a movie flashback or updates on this next documentary I'm working on. But anyway, I'll be visiting Nightglow Entertainment periodically over the next couple of months. And just a reminder, my Oscars prediction show will be posted on YouTube Sunday, March 8th. Yeah, March 8th. I almost forgot to tell you guys and give this reminder. But anyway, yeah. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you later.